Hi, so I just finished The Comedy of Errors by Shakespeare, and I thought it was definitely a very funny, interesting, confusing story to say the least. I think it was definitely confusing in the part that the two brothers had slaves that were also twins. So I think two sets of twins was definitely going to make for some confusion in the story, but it definitely made it very funny and interesting. And I also knew, going into it that they were on the quest to find the mother and the other twin, and who knew the other life that this other brother had established. So it was definitely going to be confusing for everybody in the midst. Two values that I saw were jealousy and morals. Jealousy I saw in Adrena, her husband, Antithesis of Ephesus, was locked out, couldn't get in, and Antithesis of Syracuse was in there, but she didn't know that at the time. So Antithesis of Syracuse was falling in love with Adrena's sister, Lucina, and she was definitely getting jealous over this, didn't know why he was acting this certain way. So I definitely think that also morals played a role in this as well, because no matter what, she was upset, she still had love for her husband, even though that he was apparently in love with her sister. Something that I didn't understand was in part 3 of the play, and it was when Adrena says to her sister, Lucina, she says, "Patience unmoved, no marvel. Though she pause, they can meek, they have no other cause." And when I later looked into this, I realized that it meant, no matter what, even though her husband was falling in love with her sister, she had to move past it. That was her husband, and she made the vow of marriage, so she had to look past it and still love her husband. For question number 4, I think gender definitely played a role in this, as the man was obviously portrayed as the higher power here. I saw this definitely, when Antithesis of Ephesus was locked out of his castle and, he was being thrown into jail and he didn't know what to do. But there was a part where he said he was going to get ropes and he was going to beat his wife. And I definitely, thought that out to be, a certain time area it was in. So I definitely think that, the men had greater power than the women. For question number 5, I don't think, men being portrayed as female characters was probably the best decision, but, since this was the norm for most plays back then, I really think that it didn't really make a difference in the play overall. I think it probably made for a better laugh, if anything. So I definitely think that even though it was probably a little weird for these men to be playing these female characters, it definitely was a normal thing and it just made for a good laugh. And then 2 questions that I have for you guys is, what if in the Comedy of Errors, Antithesis of Ephesus would have gone to jail and never gotten out? How would the story have ended? And then also the slaves, what if they weren't twins at all and they had different slaves? Would the story would have been less confusing, or how would it have ended? Thank you.